And let me know once visible.
Yes.
Hey, hello everyone, welcome to the VOLTHA TST. This call will be recorded and uploaded to the social media. Starting off, I've just carried forward whatever we had discussed in the previous call. And first one, GitHub Actions. Eric, anything on this? Any reviews to be done? Just to be reviewed?
Yeah, I mean, we still have some incomplete code reviews.
Okay. You had created one filter, right? Okay, this one, correct? Which has all the
N-
pull requests.
No, let me
No,
see
not
here.
really.
Um,
Not this.
Going to post it in chat.
Okay, I'll check this. I'll put it in the nice. That's good.
I remember I reviewed some of them and I make some comments. Have you seen them or you already seen them and responded? I haven't seen your responses. I don't know what happened.
Let's see. In terms of ones that are still open,
Okay, there is a plus one. But
yeah, sorry, there are a couple that need some fixing because we can remove some of the stuff since there's going to be a transition to GitHub anyway, so some of it is wired specifically for communications between GitHub and Garrett. Those can be removed. So
okay,
Yeah, I left a comment about this Garrett URL is not included in any of the code pages, so probably it's
yeah, yeah. At the time, I was trying to figure out whether I needed to even include because the Garrett comment handler is obviously by its name something very specific for working between Garrett and GitHub. Um, and at that point, I thought we were doing there was a need to hurry on the transition between Garrett and GitHub, but that doesn't seem to be moving as quickly as I thought it needed to. So I will just go ahead and do those fixes and get them merged.
got it. So when these are merged, can we say we have finished this transition or we still have some adjusting to do?
Yeah. Once those are merged, we're done.
Okay, wait.
Okay. Anything on the I'll also have a look once and provide my review. Next on the Jenkins test. Okay. Second, you got a chance to check?
Yeah, we discussed this again with Mahir. Yeah, it seems that there is not an easy way to remove unnecessary tests or optimizing the test. So we need some resources and some spare time to fix all of these, and we don't have the resources right now. So we will request again from the board if we can find resources to this matter. And I know Brad system also wasn't able to find resources around this test chat, so we are stuck at this point.
Yeah, because we are too much occupied with those fixes and the test jobs what we have
Yeah.
like this, which is failing, and a few fixes which needs to go in before the next release. I'll give. Uh, we can sync up on this, Sarkant, or if you have anything, you can share it to me. I'll check once the release is done. Probably I can, my team can
Mm.
save some time and have a look at this.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Next on the venue adapter scientific test failure, Eric, I think so. There were a bunch of commits which I've given +1. I also merged a few, but looks like there is some still yet some things pending, which I think so. One of my team member, I think so. Praneeth had raised a ticket. You got a chance to check? I don't know what's going on there actually. I just thought you can think of on this.
Yeah, I have been working on it. Beneath just left another comment, so I saw that this morning and we'll take a look. But yeah, the which one? The Volta Protoss I know worked as expected last merge, or maybe it's the other one. Because there's one for Volta Protoss and one for gRPC Robot, which are essentially the same issue. Both has to do with the PyPI release.
These ones, right? I had.
I'm speaking about the tickets that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, he raised support tickets for both of those.
Okay. Correct. No, what I was wondering is since there were already a few which got fixed, I don't know what went wrong again or what was the problem. I'm not sure what happened. So, is it due to the version being upgraded, like the Python version, or is it due to?
No, there were some bugs in the release job.
Oh, okay. Okay. Fine. Sure. Then once you've checked, then we'll check it further and we'll see where it goes.
Hey, all. Sorry, I haven't been able to join these meetings for a couple of weeks. What's the progress on moving everything over to GitHub and getting off Garrett? Because the project is still paying quite a bit to use Garrett right now, and we need to get off of it.
I think so. Yes, we will come to that yet, Michelle. Once we have finished this, we'll come to this point.
Yeah, so we got all the IDs. I shared them with Eric a couple weeks ago. What else needs to happen for that move to be completed and for Garrett to be closed out?
Eric, anything you can share on this? Anything?
So from a technical aspect, we're ready to move over. Um, let's see. The GitHub Actions will need to be updated, but that's not something we can really do until development moves from Garrett to GitHub. I think the biggest thing is that the team needs to start opening changes on GitHub rather than Garrett and get all of their Garrett-based changes closed out.
Okay. So,
Yeah, the technical issues or the everything technical that needs to be done is in place. So what we really just need is for developers to start using GitHub instead.
okay. Do folks have everything they need to feel like they can start doing that?
Yeah,
Um,
at least the IDs should be um, created. It should be straightforward, right? Eric, make it up. Create an ID, use the raise the package.
I think all
Sorry,
that's
well,
in place,
yeah.
Abalash. So you guys just need to start using GitHub rather than Garrett, and the board is not going to continue to approve the funding we need to pay to keep Garrett going. So the sooner this can happen, the better. Like within the next week, I would say, because we're continuing to pay a fee to use Garrett every month, along with the costs that come through it.
Sure. We'll start off right away with GitHub. Then
Yeah,
we'll
that would be great. And if you have questions about how to start using the GitHub instead of Garrett, it looks like there's a link in here, but like let us know and we're happy to help support
yeah,
that move. But we do need to make that happen pretty soon.
yeah, sure.
there, there are a couple of things that we need to figure out before because I um, make a test pull request and try to understand what's happening. So I put some notes here. So for example, the default reviewers doesn't add automatically when you open a ticket and pull request. Or another issue, the merge. If you can merge without a review, you can do without a review. And also, the automated test should be triggered when you open a pull request. So those are not ready yet, as far as I understand. So once they are ready, we can switch fully to GitHub. We can start pushing some of our pull requests to GitHub and see if all of these things are ready before switching down fully Garrett.
Okay.
Okay, so requiring merges is just branch protections. I can add those.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, make a note of that before I move on. Um, let's see.
I think you can add on
And GitHub
merge
Actions
version.
jobs, I was waiting for any sign that development was moving. So yeah, I could start changing those over and then default reviewers is the hardest one. I mean, who are the default reviewers for any given change? I mean, what's
I see.
Garrett bases that on basically when you make a change, it'll look at the log and who else has changed like that particular line,
Hmm.
and add them automatically. GitHub doesn't do that. So I think for now you could manually add reviewers, but also we would need like lists of default reviewers per repo or across the project. If we had that, I
Yeah,
could add that,
yeah,
but
at
like right
least.
now, we don't have that information, and Garrett is just doing it, yeah, based on previous changes, and GitHub doesn't have that feature.
Okay, that's not a big problem. At least if we can add the default reviewers for some of the repos, then it's okay.
Yeah, that just the easiest way for that is just to open a support ticket, and I can handle that because that way we can get everything listed and have kind of a conversation history and pull people in if we need to.
Okay, I can do that. Can you add me an action item for me, Abhilash, to open the ticket?
Oh, I don't know which one, but I'll go for the first. Okay. Right. Sure, sure. Then we'll start using GitHub. One more thing on this. So, Eric, how it will work if we have links to get it? Like we could have shared links with get it, like the patches. Will it be redirected to GitHub, or we can still view in the get it itself, like this patch, because this link would be shared many places.
Yeah,
Now,
so there's no good way to just transfer open patches. That's probably the biggest issue that we face with transition. Pretty much everything will either need to be closed out, as in merged or abandoned if the change is no longer needed, um, or it just needs to be reopened in GitHub. While all the data's over there, it doesn't really work to just like reopen it. You need to kind of do a different thing where you branch and open a pull request.
no, that's fine. What I was asking is, suppose a link, suppose a patch which is already merged. Now, I have given, suppose for example, I have given this patch, this link of this patch shared across their teams, other vendors. Now, if I open this patch, um, will it be redirected to GitHub, or still it will work with Gerrit, at least to view this patch?
No. So, all the data from a patch that isn't just the git commit is unfortunately going to be lost by shutting down Garrett. Um, yeah, because The change history, the comment history, all that stuff only exists in Garrett.
Okay.
So none of that is in GitHub. It won't be accessible anymore going forward.
Okay. And we cannot do anything about it, right?
That's right.
Okay. Hmm. We would have a problem here because suppose what we usually do is the patch sets, right? We share to the vendors, the VOLTHA vendors, which DT uses. And now we have shared quite a bit of patches which are already merged. Okay. Now, if those patches are non-accessible, then how do I even share that patch now? Because I don't get that in GitHub as well. Right?
Well, rather than the patch, you could still link to the Git commit.
Yeah, commit. Yeah, the commit ID can be shared.
Yeah, because the whole Git history is still there. It's just those extra parts of the patch. The pretty much anything having to do with the review, um, changes to the patch are not part of Git history. One
Got
of the things
it.
that is a little bit better about the GitHub method is that rather than just amending a commit over and over, you would actually add new commits, so all of that will be in the Git history. Whereas in Garrett, as you amend the patch, you're overwriting it, so none of the changes that you make during review actually end up in the Git history, which is, there are advantages and disadvantages to both ways. It's actually much cleaner the Garrett way, but um, the history of those changes as you rework a patch are not committed into Git. So without the Garrett DB, um, all that information's gone.
Okay. Right. I think so. There's no other way around. Then we'll have to live with that. Okay. Sure. Second, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so we are preparing for the next release. So as far as I see, there are 35 open patches right now. So rather than moving all the open patches to GitHub, I think we should uh, make a code freeze and then complete all the open patches. And for the next release, start we can start with the GitHub. So we should focus finishing the next release for the next 2 weeks. I think it will be better to moving all of the open patches to GitHub.
Yeah. But there are a few patches which are needed for release. So those ones we'll see. We'll try to get it merged and we'll release it in GitHub as well and then get it merged there. And the remaining ones probably we can do it later once we officially move to GitHub.
Uh-huh. So you are not planning all of the open patches for the next release.
Whatever are possible, because I see there are quite a few. If we are able to get them in, that should be fine as well.
See, and this is an issue for me because if you're still developing on Garrett and want to get those last few patches in, then I can't make changes to the CI jobs for those repos because if I do, it'll just completely break CI coming from Garrett. So, um, if we want to do it that way, I think probably the easiest way is because there's going to be a lot more repos that aren't being touched than are. If you could provide me a list of repos that are still um, in active development for the rest of this release cycle, I can wait on converting those jobs and start doing the rest of them now.
You mean the GitHub Actions, the last patches waiting to be merged, right? So we need to uh, we need to wait. We need to uh, not merge them until we finish. You're saying,
No. Like
okay.
ideally, we want to get everything merged as soon as possible.
Hmm.
So so the jobs are currently triggering on changes in Garrett, and I need
Okay,
to make them trigger on changes in GitHub. Um, we can't really do both. Um, so I'll need to know which ones are still in development on Garrett until the end of the release and the code freeze so that I don't change those and they'll continue to trigger from Garrett until you're done with this release cycle. And then I can move those over to GitHub as well as development moves over there.
Guys, we don't have the funding for this. This Garrett should have been migrated over last month. The board has not approved funding to continue to pay for these services. We have to get off them as soon as possible. So how can we do that?
mm,
Unless you want to go back to the board and ask for additional funding, the board has not approved these funds. And they are being extremely tight with the budget. Just getting enough funding to finish the primary migration was really difficult.
I see. I wasn't in the discussion of this Garrett migration. Um, so I don't know the details.
Mm,
So the board only cut the budget for the Garrett or
The board
what?
approved enough funding to get through the migration and to fund Garrett through July, and that's it.
I see.
So anything extra is now going over and is going to have to be approved by the board. If it's something that needs to be done, if it's integral to the continuation of this project, then what I need help with is going back to the board and presenting that case to them because they have been extremely tight with what funding has been approved to support this project on the technical side because we're running out of funds, to be honest. Like the project is running out of money. And that was part of the whole migration, right? Was to cut back on the hosting costs, cut back on the overhead in order to enable this project to be sustainable in the long term. But we're still accruing these charges that were supposed to be migrated last month. And that's going to be a problem at the board meeting.
Got it.
okay. So can we get this week, Michelle? What we can do is by this week, whatever patches are there, we can get it merged in Gerrit, and the remaining ones will start raising or will start using GitHub. Or if that's not possible, then definitely we'll move all these patches which are open to GitHub.
Yeah, the release jobs will work either way. Um, so I could start moving all review jobs to be triggered via GitHub. So anything that needs a new patch, um, it's just going to need to be a GitHub pull request moving forward.
Okay. Sure, then we'll start doing it. So will Eric will re-raise all these patches to GitHub now, the ones which are open. We can do that because since the last date was already July and we are over already by 4 or 5 days. And then we'll raise it in GitHub instead. Yeah, it's a bit of a work, but we are already over time, so.
It'd be great if I know Serkant, you had responded about the TST update for the board after the meeting today. If we can include some update about the Garrett migration as well to give them a heads up that it's taking longer and that we have a target of end of week, it sounds like, to get things moved over.
So yeah, we can provide that. The problem is like it's not an update, so it's a new thing for the TSD. You understand what I mean? So at least for me, this get it change come all of a sudden. Um anyway, so as far as I understand from Abhilash that we are not pushing any changes to get it from now on, right, Abhilash?
Yes.
And we can say now, I think we can publish this is a code freeze time, so we are not accepting any new patches from now on, right? For the next release. And
Yes,
hmm,
but second, there are a few which needs to go in. After that, we can code freeze.
okay.
Yeah,
And,
that's why I was.
you are going to push to the GitHub then?
Yes, that's why I was asking Michelle if we can get time till this week. If we are fine till this week, then we'll at least close the ones which we have raised in Gerrit, and whichever we cannot merge by this week, we will move them to GitHub. And anyway, the new ones we will have to raise in GitHub.
If
Michelle?
that's the most realistic thing, then I guess that's what we have to do. But Serkant, I'm a little bit surprised that you are surprised by this because this has been an issue that was brought back like way back in May, and I asked for everybody's GitHub IDs at the beginning of July. So this shouldn't be a surprise. This has been something that we've been trying to make happen for like 3 months now.
Yeah, May, July, that's summer weeks. I wasn't in most of the meetings, I remember. That's why
Gotcha.
I missed. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry it's a little bit of a surprise, but like it's again, we're just such tight on budget. It's every little bit that we can move to a free service is going to make a big difference for the project in the long run. And that's what the governing board is really pushing hard to have happen. So I don't want to have to go back to them yet again and say we need yet more funds that they don't want to spend and don't really have to spend on a service that can be done through a free option, you know. So I know it's not ideal. I know it's a pain, but the sooner that we can get things moved to as low cost as possible, the better.
Okay, so is it okay to continue with one more week as Abhilash requested, or
I, if that's what's realistic, then that's what we have to do.
yeah, okay.
So, uh, the seventh, I guess. Okay. Okay. Good. Eric, works for you because the the jobs and all you'll have to wait till this week.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks. Good. If nothing else on this, we'll move ahead to the next point. Anything on this? Record second, if you got a chance to check this.
Um, no updates on that right now. I haven't heard from BISDN about making it public yet.
Okay. But you'll be following it up, Eric, with
Sorry?
BISDN? You will be following it up with BISDN?
Yes. So given your budget constraints, it may be ideal for someone from within the project to take over handling that.
The
Because
okay,
there's, because my time's going to show up on your budget too.
okay, got it. Um, yeah. Sedikant, you want to opt or you want me to? I can check as well.
So we cannot take over this one. We don't have any experience this networking things, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, good point. One more thing is we don't have access to those servers either.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
This is something that we need to get from the Linux Foundation. I don't think we can take over this in any time.
There is no
So
budget, there's no budget. So it's either
essentially,
they
this
Okay.
is
just or it doesn't get done.
this is just communicating with BISDN. This is included in what you're getting from BISDN, but at this point, um, I'm just the one communicating with them to say, you know, hey, we need this. These are the jobs. Needs to be publicly accessible, things like that. I will add
I
you
just
guys
added you.
to the email chain.
I just did that.
Okay, great.
So
Thank you.
Serkant and Abalest, you're on the thread with Hagen. I just pinged him to ask for an update, but like essentially the TST needs to manage this because we're getting to a point now where if we keep seeing hosting costs accruing, things are going to have to start getting turned off because of no budget. And to
Okay.
avoid that, we need some help following up on if you could, because the project will not fund LFIT to do this work anymore. It either has to be done by the TST or it has to get turned off.
Okay, got it.
That's kind of where we're at, unfortunately.
Okay. Next on the release date, there are a few patches. Probably we can start code freeze by end of this week.
Mm-hmm.
And once code freeze, then we can check the pipelines and see if what good. We can prepare the release notes and start with the freeze.
Okay, then we can communicate with Eric switching to GitHub.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I had for today. Anything else? Any open points?
I don't have any other things.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, all.
Thank you. Bye bye.